The second you stopped chasing her was the moment everything shifted. Not because you played a trick, not because you tried some reverse psychology, but because you finally remembered who you are. Let that sink in. All that chasing, all that begging, all that needing it wasn't you. It was a version of you molded by fear, by scarcity, by the belief that you needed her to feel whole. But the truth is, she was never attracted to that version. She didn't lose interest because you weren't good enough. She lost interest because you forgot what made you powerful in the first place. The focused, grounded, mission-driven you. The man who didn't revolve around her orbit. The man who walked his own path, steady, unshaken, and unapologetic. That's the version she felt pulled toward. But when you started making her the mission, instead of making the mission, everything shifted. You became predictable. And predictable is boring. Predictable is weak. Predictable is forgettable. But the second you stopped needing her to validate you, you became magnetic again. Not through charm, through discipline, through presence, through power. Through that rare combination of focus and indifference that only a man on his path can have. And here's the real paradox one. You stop needing her. She starts noticing. When you stop orbiting her, her world starts to dim. And in that silence, in that space where you used to pour all of your love and attention, she starts to feel something she never expected, the weight of your absence. And that weight, that silence, speaks louder than any desperate words ever could. That's when she starts wondering if she misjudged you. That's when she starts feeling the loss, not because you wanted her to, but because you finally remembered that you were never supposed to chase her. In the first place, she doesn't start chasing you because you suddenly got clever and decided to ignore her. She starts chasing because you evolved beyond her reach. It's not a tactic. It's transformation. It's not a game. It's growth. She feels the shift in your silence, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you genuinely no longer care to make her the center of your life. And that's the part that hits her hardest, not rejection, but irrelevance. Women don't chase men who play games. They chase men who outgrow the old version of themselves, the version who used to put her first, who used to hesitate, who used to shrink himself to fit into her chaotic world. When you finally realize that your time, your peace, and your progress are worth more than late-night texts and breadcrumb conversations, you start to walk differently. And trust me, she notices. It's in your tone. It's in your posture. It's in the way you no longer jump when her name pops up. That confuses her. It throws off her sense of control because now the dynamic has flipped. She's not used to you being silent. She's used to you explaining, overcompensating, proving, performing. Now all she hears is that silence, and that silence echoes with everything she took for granted. You didn't stop loving. You just stopped sacrificing your dignity for temporary attention. And now she's realizing what she lost wasn't just a man, it was stability. It was strength. It was the kind of presence that doesn't come around often. You're not detached because you want to punish her, you're detached because you're protecting your future. And that kind of discipline, that's the very thing that makes her start chasing. Not your words, not your attention, but your absence. Obsession doesn't come from attention. It's born from absence. When you were available, predictable, always ready to reply, she didn't value it. You were a constant, a convenience, something she thought would always be there. Why she was passive. That's why she acted cold. But the second you pulled back, not out of spite, not out of manipulation, but out of self-respect, that's when her mind started racing. That's when curiosity started creeping in. And curiosity is the seed of obsession. Now she's watching your stories twice, wondering why you don't check hers anymore, wondering who has your attention now, wondering if she ever really knew you at all. It messes with her because it's not a pattern she's familiar with. Before, she knew exactly. Where she stood with you, you were the one always holding on. But now you've let go. And that's what's driving her crazy. It's not that you disappeared to teach her a lesson, you disappeared to build yourself. And that absence, that unavailability, it's rare. It's powerful. It's magnetic. And it's the one thing she can't control. She used to know how. To get a reaction from you, now she's throwing breadcrumbs, random texts, meaningless likes, trying to see if the old you is still alive somewhere inside. But you're not that man anymore. You're sharper now. You're focused. You don't flinch, you don't chase, you don't explain. That silence, that absence is your new language. And every time she reaches out and gets nothing but your steady, grounded detachment in return, the obsession grows. She's no longer chasing who you used to be. She's chasing the certainty, the security, the masculine energy she thought would always be waiting for her. But now it's gone. That's exactly why she can't stop thinking about you. She didn't fall for you because you were emotional or available. She was drawn to you because of your edge, your discipline, your focus on something bigger than her. The second you made her your purpose, instead of your companion on the journey, you lost the very thing that made you stand out. She didn't want to be your whole life. She wanted to witness you build one so powerful that she was lucky just to be invited into it. That's what women respect men who don't revolve around them, men who revolve around their mission. When you forgot that, when you dropped your focus just to orbit her moods, that's when she slowly checked out. It wasn't rejection, it was disappointment. She wanted a king, not a servant. And when a man stops chasing his potential to chase her approval, his energy shifts. You became safe, predictable, easy to reach, easy to control. It's predictable. Men don't create obsession, they create boredom. But when you stopped making her the destination, when you shifted that energy back to your path, something inside her shifted too. She started wondering why you stopped checking in. She started stalking your page, not because she misses you, but because she misses the way you used to orbit her. But that's gone now. You've rebuilt yourself in silence. You've disappeared. To punish, but to build. And that's what drives her wild. Mystery is magnetic. Unavailability is powerful. When you become the man who doesn't explain his moves, who doesn't need her eyes on him to feel worthy, you become rare. And rarity always commands respect. You're not seeking her approval anymore. You're seeking your evolution. Makes you untouchable in a way she never saw coming, now can't stop thinking about. This was never about making her regret losing you. It was about making sure you never lose yourself again. The moment you reclaimed your time, your focus, your attention, that was the real shift. She didn't just lose a man. She lost access to something rare. Your energy, your presence, your consistency. That's what women crave deep down, not constant attention, but the kind of grounded, masculine presence that can't be shaken by mood swings or tests. You gave her all of that before, freely, fully, without hesitation. She got used to it. She thought it would always be there. She thought you would always show up, even after being ignored, even after being taken for granted. But now, that energy has been redirected. You don't disappear to punish. You disappear to rebuild, to evolve, to create something greater than what you lost. In the moment you made your future, the obsession, instead of her, you became rare. And scarcity creates value. She's not just thinking about what you gave her. She's thinking about how she fumbled it. Every text you don't send, every post you don't make, every reply you withhold, it all carries weight now. You don't have to prove a thing anymore. You don't have to show her what she lost. She feels it in the silence. She hears it in the absence. And that's what haunts her. It's not because you were cruel, but because you were kind. And she mistook that kindness for weakness. But you're not weak anymore. You're not lost. You're not chasing. You're choosing. And the man who chooses himself can't be replaced. She didn't just lose a man. She lost the only one who actually saw her, stood by her, and built for her. But now, all of that love is yours again. And this time, you won't waste it.